อ อ อ Is that it's exposing the foundation of that plaster wall. So that mud plaster.
And when he left, and in this, with his contact with the Catholic
This 我有张相片。
啊，这样不晓得。
음.